So there's this degenerate that I've been trying to track down for almost 2 years. Brhonson Lexier St. Surin. He flies aspiring models to Brooklyn, New York, under the premise of shooting an artistic photo shoot. But when they arrive...
He said that I had to have sex with him on camera. I was told it was going to be part of his prestigious art exhibit at the Museum of Sex.
I went to the Museum of Sex. They've never heard of him before.
I told him I didn't give a damn about his exhibit and that I wasn't gonna do it. And then he just kept trying to convince me for hours, trying to justify it, and how I was wasting his time, and how...
The sex is actual, the photography is actual, everything in my portfolio is actual. I mean, outside of that...
You did not write we had to have sex.
No, you want me to use your language. That's what you want. You want me to use your wording, your language. I don't speak that way.
Because you want to trick somebody.
Okay.
But basically, he was pretty much running a prostitution ring. And then he got upset because I wasn't willing to do that. And then, he didn't want to let me leave. And then I, rushed out of there immediately. I, started crying and I was scared.
Unfortunately, I wasn't really in a position to say no. So I ended up going through with it. And the worst part, I never even got paid.
We have the emails that he sent to the victims stating exactly what the shoots entailed, none of which said anything about having intercourse with anyone.
The emails he sent to models contained his portfolio.
Apparently he's worked with Anna Lynn McCord and Kylie Jenner.
It's all a big charade. It's all fraud. None of these belong to him.
After finding over a dozen victims online, Ansel calls the Brooklyn PD and tries to give them the evidence that he's found. They tell him he has to file a report in person.
So first we go to Precinct 67 in Brooklyn, where Mr. St. Surin resides with his girlfriend, Tamara Jones. Officer Collado tells us we can't speak to a detective because it's a weekend and there isn't one in. He also tells us that I'll get a phone call from a detective in 2 to 5 business days. So I wait. Nothing. So I call them, and I'm eventually given a number to a vice unit.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
And it was in that moment that I realized how this individual has been getting away with this since 2009.
You can call the NYPD a lot of things. But after this incident, you can't call them racist.
Now, when I look at New York's definition of fraud and sex trafficking, it looks like what he's doing is illegal based on the evidence that we have right now. The problem is that NYPD won't even look at the evidence that we have right now. Dozens of emails containing fraudulent statements about how he has received NEA grants and his work has appeared in the Museum of Sex. A portfolio with work that he claims is his, when in reality, it's not. Using celebrities' likeness to trick models into doing porn. If that's not at least fraud, I don't know what is. Victims telling stories of how they were isolated, pressured, and coerced into being sexually violated, all of which has been happening since 2009. There's hundreds, if not thousands of girls who have been in contact with this guy. Me and my team found over a dozen girls, 5 of which we referred to New York-based attorney Steve Fairchild.
So in an effort to slow his operation, our team tracked him down and served him civil papers. But that probably won't be enough.
So the only way law enforcement is going to get involved is if this story trends nationwide. Why do you think they even got involved with this asshole's hate crime?
Musician and actor Jussie Smollett sat down with me for his first interview since that night in Chicago.
Our goal is to basically Kony 2012 this asshole. Make him infamous. Can you imagine what would happen if Kylie Jenner managed to go after Mr. St. Surin civilly? NYPD wouldn't be able to ignore it anymore at that point. Everything that I've been saying in this video, don't just take my word for it. All of the facts and evidence in regards to this case can be found at clutchfilms.net/investigate-Lex St. Surin. There you can find victims' interviews and emails so that you can come to your own conclusion as to whether or not Mr. St. Surin is guilty. He's also been featured in a New York Post article that was released in February. And to any women out there who have been in contact with Mr. St. Surin or worked with him or anything like that, please contact Attorney Steve Fairchild. Lastly, anyone who's watching this video, please share or screenshot this image and post to your social media with the hashtag #InvestigateLexSt. We need to set an example for all the creeps, degenerates, and predators out in the world. We need to make Brhonson Lexier St. infamous.